the station where news comes first. WJRT TV 12. Live, this is 12 News at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Audrey Barnes. A suspect is in serious condition this noon after being shot by Flint police following an alleged armed robbery downtown. Police say 3 people were robbed at gunpoint in a parking lot at Kersley and Beach around 1 a.m. The suspect stole their car and fled to a Northside neighborhood where he was spotted by police. At that point, he fled on foot when he was shot by the police when he attempted to break into a garage. The officer has been taken off street duty pending an investigation. The suspect is in the Hurley Medical Center and faces charges including armed robbery. A Lapeer County school teacher will face trial on a charge of criminal sexual conduct for an incident involving a 6-year-old student. 26-year-old Jonathan Skiba of Davison, a teacher in the Almont district, was ordered to stand trial in Lapeer County Circuit Court. His defense attorney had hoped to subpoena school records to prove the little girl has trouble telling fantasy from reality. The district court judge today denied that motion, but he says they can take the matter up with the circuit court judge. A separate meeting continues at this hour with discussions on 11 other sexual misdemeanor charges involving alleged exposure to students. A former Bay County jail guard spent the night behind bars charged with murder. Larry Moldenhauer has been arraigned in the September 1989 slaying of Cindy Miller. Her death was originally ruled a suicide, but after further investigation, police said she had been murdered. Moldenhauer is a 13-year veteran of the department. His arrest surprised colleagues who said they had considered him.
This individual had a high degree of wanting to help people. I guess that's what makes it so surprising.
Now that a suspect has been charged in Miller's death, her family says the only question remaining is why someone would want to kill her. It's day 2 of a strike by employees of Flint's Heartland Van Conversion Company. 17 workers walked off the job yesterday, saying they're victims of unfair labor practices. Earlier this month, some of the employees had asked the UAW to represent them. A UAW spokesman says the company refuses to recognize the union. No comment yet from Heartland officials. Chrysler Vice Chairman Gerald Greenwald has resigned. He is leaving to head a group of employees trying to buy United Airlines. This month alone, 3 top Chrysler executives have left the company. Greenwald has been Chrysler's vice chairman since 1988. He'll be United Airlines' new CEO once the employee acquisition is completed. If you want to get a good deal on a new Ford, you may want to wait until this fall. The company is telling its dealers about some new incentives it plans to offer to help them sell cars at the end of the 1990 model year. Dealers aren't raving about this new plan, though. It means they'll have to give up the 5% carryover credit Ford normally gives them to sell the previous model year vehicles. The death toll is climbing from that deadly earthquake in Peru. So far, 115 people have died. More than 800 have been hurt when the landscape shook and literally crumbled beneath their feet. 14 hours after a quake hit Eastern Europe yesterday, there was a major aftershock in Bucharest. 8 people have died so far in that quake. This tremor registered 6.5 to 7 on the Richter scale. Officials say the only thing that kept the damage from being much worse there is that the epicenter of the quake was very deep within the earth. Soviet leader Gorbachev arrived today at the White House for his summit with President Bush. After opening ceremonies, Bush stressed this will be a working summit where differences will be discussed with candor. In his formal remarks, Gorbachev referred to his 1987 summit with President Reagan, calling it a major step towards world peace.
This was really a real turning point, not only in our mutual relations, but in all recent history. It was the first joint step of 2 powerful states on the road leading to a safe and sensible world.
The White House says today's topics will include the unification of East and West Germany, trade, nuclear and conventional weapons control, and Lithuanian independence. Amazing news from the medical world this noon. Doctors at the University of California have developed a method to repair fetal defects even before the child is born. We have more from ABC's George Strait.
Last year, Beth Schultz thought she'd never be able to hold her baby boy. Doctors told her he'd die soon after birth because he had a hole in his diaphragm which would prevent his lungs from developing normally. But Blake is alive. He's the first child to survive this kind of experimental surgery in which doctors take the baby partway out of his mother's uterus, fix the hole in the diaphragm, and return it to the womb. Since then, doctors in San Francisco have successfully performed the same operation on 6-week-old Devona Scott.
We're extremely proud of these kids. I mean, we're extremely proud of them. It was a terrible struggle, and they were incredibly heroic, and we're delighted.
Their condition is usually fatal. The mothers were 6 months pregnant when their baby's internal organs began pushing up through the hole in their diaphragm, pressing on their lungs, retarding their growth. Surgery was the only hope. This kind of surgery had been tried on 6 other babies, but all died. The biggest problem has been injury to the uterus, which causes premature birth. New drugs can now control that, so doctors feel confident in trying to fix other problems.
There are some big tumors that kill the babies before they're born by virtue of stealing blood from the kid, and those need to be dealt with.
Until now, parents of fetuses that had a problem had 2 choices: terminate the pregnancy or live with that problem. The real import of the new surgery is that it gives parents another choice. George Strait, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up next, in sports, the Pistons ran all over the Bulls and Mr. Food.
Just one easy, fresh sauce, and we don't care what summer company knocks on our door.